Okay, welcome
Cowabunga.
to the Memery Hole, episode 36. We've changed up the naming scheme. No longer tied to the monthly dates and such. So, yeah, episode 36. Shall I go back and rename them all?
Nah.
Shall I leave them? Okay. But yeah, we've got
no
lots
longer
of...
stuck in the past.
In fact, I'm in a courtroom right now. We're going to dig deep into some criminal mastermindery of Paul Pelosi's attacker.
We've also got an Alec Baldwin update. It's been a year since his shenanigans.
Oh, it's good that I'm in a courtroom then. Can get an update.
Very nice of him to remind us as well for some reason.
We've got Elon buying Twitter coming up, and also the regular programming of last year's memes, this week's memes, and then we'll round it all off with some wholesome Friends discussion, the TV show Friends, because I watched that recently again. So yeah, let's jump into the Memery Hole. Start with this little video.
This is what happens when activists organize concerts.
We are no strangers to love.
You know the rules, and so do I.
Here comes the copy strike.
No strangers to love. The rules, and so do I. Commitment's what I'm.
Okay, I can't listen to any more of that.
Too cringe. Too
Do you
much
think we'll get
cringe.
striked? I feel like that song probably gives a pass because it's on so many videos.
Sure.
Do you think
Yeah.
Rick Astley's as based as she was?
Is he going to claim the video?
I've met him a couple of times. He runs like a bar pub thing near Farringdon.
Oh, so you
and,
could go have a word with him.
I go have a word with him, and I think he said he was all right with Greta using this as their little jingle. And I reckon honestly, it's the best thing she's ever done. I think if she'd been more like that, the world would be a better place.
But yeah. Do you think he's as based as Bring Me the Horizon though, in letting people use his music without
The
copyright?
Giga Chad.
I'm getting Bring Me Horizons mixed up with that pedo dude. Lost Profits. We're not talking about Lost Profits.
No.
Wait. Clue me in. What's the
Ian Watkins.
what's the deal with Lost Profits?
Ian Watkins, the lead singer, he was like diddling like literally like 1-year-olds. He was like,
no.
yeah, it was.
Oh no.
Fucking sick. Yeah, let's avoid that one.
Oh no.
Do you
That's
reckon
not
that-
awful.
Not
the
Age from
rooftops
Steps, the other one.
Do you reckon they copy strike that stuff? Rooftops, like standing on the rooftops, everybody screaming.
Scream,
Let's find that out. I think Glitter got paid loads for the Joker soundtrack, didn't he? Still, even though he's behind bars.
Yeah, he did. Even though there was a fair amount of controversy, that's still that tune is an absolute banger.
Mm-hmm.
If we do get striked, I can just re-upload it and I'll just sing it with my mouth. Re-edit with me singing. It's nice how we started the episode with a Rickroll, though.
Yeah. I've got it on vinyl actually, just in case I ever want to completely troll the party.
Is it like Black Label? White Label,
Yeah.
sorry. That would be funny.
Mystery record.
You distribute like 50 records, like these really rare white labels, and it's just a Rickroll. I wonder if anyone's done that before.
God, yeah, that's what Elon should be spending his money doing.
Yeah, so this meme, I think player one just sent it to me because it looked like my girlfriend.
Yeah, I thought no.
She doesn't look like that anymore.
I sent it to you. I sent it to you, complaining that like basically all Zuma girls are like that, and then you replied by saying, "Oh, you know what? That's kind of like that." And I was like, "Oh no."
It's just the hair and the glasses.
What's yerba, mate?
Yerba mate. It's like posh
Oh.
tea.
She does drink mate as well.
Of course she does.
She lived in Berlin for a year, so.
Yeah, the damage has been done.
It's terminal, I'm afraid.
Oh, she's one of the 8 people that listen to this podcast as well.
just lost a considerable percentage of listeners.
12.5% of viewers down the drain.
It's a great start. If anyone made it past the Rickroll, if you made it past the Rickroll, and then yeah, just for that to happen.
Roman Charity looks pretty cool.
Oh, that's I don't even know who sent me that, but I was reading the article and weeping.
Out of where?
Do you wanna read it straight from the Wikipedia page? Enlighten everyone.
Roman Charity.
Is charity like a goddess of giving?
Certainly giving is being done.
The exemplary story of a woman, Pero, who secretly breastfed her father, Simon, after he incarcerated and sentenced to death by starvation. He was meant as a great actor.
Do you think we should go back to this? Back to this tradition of Roman charity?
Well, I'm allergic to breast milk, so I'm not in favour of this.
Wait, so
Wow,
so
lots
he
of
was
pictures.
he was locked up, and she snuck in food
Well,
via Tilly's.
certainly snuck in nutrition.
I feel that's a fair enough way to go about it. When they surely they get suspicious after 40 days or so.
You know, in Dutch, it's called mammelokken.
Mama Locker. Yeah, there's lots of different depictions of it, artistic depictions. Crazy.
Who would have thought that
Never heard
artists
it
would
before.
want to depict boobies and yeah. Do you reckon the story was just made up, but like it didn't actually happen? But like artists need an excuse to like. Never mind, right?
Average NFT enthusiast, circa 2070.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, right now that NFT enthusiast is probably brushing up his P45 and going taking a trip to the job center.
To be fair to those guys, they were like a year late to the game, but they still seem to be the coolest ones out there, don't they? Those they're essentially Pokemon
The Mondo
cards,
Megabits.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think that's kind of what it always should have been, something like that. A little bit of gameplay involved.
Yeah, I'm in the Discord group and I'm just kind of watching it, but it looks like lots of people are being scammed.
Oh no, scam in cryptocurrency? No, you're shitting me. No way.
I'm just kind of there
Next
to
you'll be
watch
telling
it.
me that next you'll be telling me that all those Twitter posts of Elon saying go to this website and give money to this wallet are scams too.
Buy now, pay later at Dominoes, pay back over 6 weeks. Seriously wondering what the survival rate is for civilizations where the population needs to finance a pizza over a couple of months.
Yeah, time to remortgage your house just so you can afford Dominoes, right?
Meanwhile, in Afghanistan, as part of the anti-drug program, the Taliban began an en masse to capture Kabul drug addicts and send them to detox centers for 45 days.
Can I get a based?
Based Taliban. And on the other side, we have the Young Turks published a 10-minute YouTube video last night purporting to refute my critiques of CIA, insisting CIA is a law-abiding organisation subject to the control of the President and the laws of Congress. The funniest part is their channel is called Rebel HQ.
Imagine unironically believing that.
Law-abiding. Whose laws are they abiding? They're certainly not abiding by the laws of the countries that they're instituting coups in.
But you don't get it. You see, this is what's called the rules-based international order. And so, which basically translates to whatever the CIA does is right. See, rules-based international order is why we have to bomb Nord Stream.
What's the rumor about that now that Liz Truss messaged someone saying it's done on the phone, and that's kind of the big part of the leak or something like that is.
I mean,
Or
it
is
would
that
be
just-
one heck of a coincidence if she just texted Anthony Blinken in the middle of the night, being like, "It is done." Hey, maybe she was talking about Paul Pelosi.
What's this? Have I missed something in the news cycle?
There was that for some reason, even though they have access to like really encrypted phones and all that sort of jazz, they all opt for an iPhone still in Parliament and use it for messages between themselves, and that's easily hacked apparently. So there's been a leak that they're looking into when she was Foreign Secretary.
So there's a how should I phrase it? There's a certain tool called Pegasus developed by a certain Middle Eastern democracy that apparently makes it sort of very easy to A, hack into phones, and B, do it in like stealth mode, so you don't even know if your phone's being hacked. Yeah, in fact, they estimate that like a significant portion of phones just have the Pegasus software, and in some cases it may even come pre-installed with your phone's OS. And so, as it turns out, Liz Truss's phone got indeed hacked by this Pegasus software. And as it so happens, sorry, my laptop decided to get a life of its own. As it so happens, she texted Anthony Blinken, "It is done." Literally a couple of minutes after the alleged explosion that disabled Nord Stream.
Oh.
One heck of a coincidence.
Maybe she just finished off paying her Domino's pizza from last year or something.
It's crazy. It's called Pegasus. It's like a bit on the nose. It's like we'll develop a software. It's just like Trojan horse with wings.
Haven't thought of that. When I hear Pegasus, I think of the main antagonist of Yu-Gi-Oh. He did the like camp as a side note. He did the campness, like the camp villain trope really well. Like there are some camp villains who pull it off exceptionally well. He was one of them.
Jafar.
The other one was Palpatine, of course.
And then Frieza.
yes.
Frieza the trifecta.
Yeah, Frieza also exceptionally good camp villain.
I found out about Yu-Gi-Oh! The other day that originally it was like it was supposed to be a series about like gambling. It was all just like different gambling games, but then in one of the episodes they did this game called like Card Battle Beasts or something like that, and like people liked that so much that they told the authors like, right, sack off everything. We just want you to make a series based on this card game, which was part of this wider series, and it got cancelled, and they just made Yu-Gi-Oh! From that. A little bit of trivia.
So cancel culture works.
I reckon on that it's done stuff as well, I reckon, what a prank. I might just start messaging random numbers saying it's done late at night.
I was going to say, apparently people were selling Liz Truss's phone number on eBay for like $6.50. Don't quote me on that. So you could potentially get it and then text her, "It is done." Obviously not advocating harassing anyone with phone calls or texts or spamming.
You should just text back the people you're getting calls from Taiwan.
Yeah.
Just text them back saying it's done.
Oh, I'm already starting to think of bits where when that invasion happens, where I'm going to hopefully get on the news and really try and escalate the situation. Basically, that's going to be my mission. That's going to be.
You gotta get the Secretary Blinken's phone number and then text him, "It is done." And one of his aides would be like, "Sir, the the Taiwanese embassy in the UK has just sent us an urgent message. I quote, 'It is done.'" He'd be like, "Excellent."
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. I was just reading articles that after that Congress, he's really pumping up the old rhetoric, and I thought it was going to happen back in March, but maybe he was biding his time a bit. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, any day now, hopefully.
Well, let's see if I can sing this bad boy. It might be difficult, so let's go for it. No, yes, definitely, I know. Don't repeat the answer. Now you are my employee. Oh, that's scary, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he remembers nothing about the series, like, because he had some, like, head accident, and he had, like, a car crash, and he can't remember filming any of it.
Oh, that's a bit of a trip.
Shit. I was going to say, this is in contrast to Bryan Cranston, who probably wants to forget the filming of this series but can't.
What
He
you
probably
said about
thought
your
people
mate?
were pranking him about it. Like I met a guy who had a bunch of shops that in Canada, and he thought it was like people pranking him, but he had such a horrible car crash, he'd completely forgotten about it, and like he just thought of these letters and stuff with nothing to do with him and all sorts. But yeah, it turns out he just forgotten about it all.
Anyone who actually thinks this is offensive or too weird for the public to consume, go fuck yourself. I skate, bang rubber asses, stick things in my ass, golf, and would like to literally protect myself.
What made you
I
post
guess
this?
more power to him.
So,
Player two.
two rather.
Player
Sorry,
two.
player two.
No, it can't be me. I'd have roller skates.
It's true. It's true.
This image is too straight for me. Okay, let's take a look at the latest. There's a little teaser one up there for Paul Pelosi waiting for his attacker to show up. We've got Kanye West for ADOLF. Let me blow this one up because there's some... bring to the front. So he's there attacking BlackRock, CNN, Hollywood, YouTube's. Sorry, Susan. Did you hear about this guy? The world's dirtiest man who smoked dung and ate roadkill dies at age 94 after taking his first bath in 50 years.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's what happens when you compromise your principles.
They, yeah, this dude would literally live in a hole as well. Like he would just smoke cigs, then smoke dung if he ran out of cigs. He'd smoke about 10 at a time. I think he'd smoke hair as well. No, he'd just burn his hair off. That was it. He'd burn his hair off for haircuts. What a champ. R.I.P.
And this is to the right is what he looked like when he had a wash.
Like one of those Japanese shows where they put a guy in the washing machine and he comes out white.
Oh, no.
Oh, let me find that. It's a Chinese ad, right?
Oh, I just assumed it was Japanese. Maybe it's Chinese.
I'm sure it's been aired there. Racist Chinese laundry ad.
改变只需一颗俏皮洗衣溶珠，俏皮全国招生热线400-800-5086。
That's how that Tide Pod craze happened, isn't it?
Speaking of racists, the father of DNA says he still believes in a link between race intelligence. His lab just stripped him of his titles.
That was ages ago. Right? Wasn't it to sell his Nobel Prize as well?
Oh, that was me late to the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is from
He ended up having to
2019.
sell his Nobel Prize just to be able to get by.
I love that they don't even give him the courtesy of using his name.
What's the revalue on those? Who wants a Nobel Peace Prize? What would you even do with that?
Not Peace Prize. You got one of the real ones.
Yeah.
Oh.
The one for biology.
That even sounds like a tenuous one, but
I think
yeah,
it was
I guess
chemistry.
it's better than the peace one.
Was it? Oh, yeah, of course, because it was for the structure of the DNA, right? Chemistry.
Yeah.
Because there isn't one for biology, is there? It's medicine, right?
Yeah.
Medicine, chemistry, physics. There isn't one for maths because didn't some mathematician sleep with Nobel's wife or something, so he hated mathematicians?
Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. I think there isn't
Why
one for mathematics
is
because
The Chad mathematician versus the Virgin.
it's because
Virgin
mathematics
Nobel.
is theoretical. It's closer to philosophy. It's like having a Nobel Prize for philosophy.
Why? He was not particularly interested in mathematics or theoretical science is the reason.
Yeah.
Sounds like you know the truth.
I guess that's why things like the Higgs boson only get Nobel prizes once they've been experimentally verified.
Oh yeah. Interesting idea. Yeah.
Because the Higgs boson was proposed in the 80s or something, right? And it wasn't found until a decade ago. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
What practical? But it also says things that have greatest practical benefit to mankind. I don't know what practical benefit the Higgs boson has to mankind, to be honest.
Oh, you just wait until we find anti-gravity propulsion systems or some shit. I don't know much about physics.
Or Eric Weinstein would say, we need to find the source code so we can get off this planet. We need to get behind Elon and find the source code.
Mars by 2018.
Thunderfoot just put out a video. I only watch his Elon Musk sort of videos now. It basically shows all the promises and all the deadlines he's missed, and basically he broke down a load of when they reveal products, how fake they are and stuff. There's all this cheering, but when you look at the crowd, there's nobody even clapping.
So he and Joe Biden have that in common then.
See, Biden just pretended that his son died in Iraq today for some reason. It might have been yesterday. The clip's new.
Classic.
But he started talking about inflation and how it was because of the war in Iraq, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm thinking about the war in Iraq because my son died there," and he didn't at all. I don't know.
Where did his son die?
Did his son serve?
Somewhere, I think Maryland or something. Yeah.
Did his son serve?
And this is the son. This is the son whose wife his other son fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bo.
Oh yeah, he was. What was his rank? He is a major.
I think he died at home. I think he had like an illness.
Yeah, he died of brain cancer. Rip.
Oh, isn't it because it wasn't there like the debunked or those fact checker people said, oh, he did technically die because he got brain cancer from exposure to chemicals while serving in Iraq.
I thought
That's
it was
the
because of a
tenuous link they make, I
TBI.
think.
Because a TBI, credit, truth be told, a TBI can cause brain tumors later on down the line. So, yeah, it's
What's a
possible.
TBI for other listeners at home who don't know?
Oh, traumatic brain injury.
Okay. WikiLeaks just dumped all of their files online. Everything from Hillary Clinton's emails, McCain being guilty, Vegas shooting done by FBI sniper, Steve Jobs' HIV letter, blah, 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 blah. Afghanistan, Syria, Iran, Bilderberg, CIA agents arrested for SH. Who, pandemic, blah, 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 blah. Happy digging, here you go. Did you get a chance to look at any of that, Player 3?
I looked at loads of that, yeah. I looked at the Steve Jobs letter.
Ooh, what's in that?
Just that, he had that. And I was looking for ages for the Vegas stuff, but I reckon that wasn't true. I couldn't find it anywhere. But there were lots of guides for how to use a sniper in the FBI, and he was talking about sniper teams and what the two roles are between the sniper teams and stuff like that, and how you can form a sniper team actually without a sniper. You just need the sort of basic stuff to actually do it, and yada yada yada. There's no homegrown terrorist threat of sniper teams apparently. This back in all 2008. I feel like most of WikiLeaks stuff was like noughties based. I don't know what they've been doing for the past decade really. But there was loads of Masonic stuff.
So was there anything about Las Vegas then? Other than the fact that how easy it is to make a spontaneous sniper team. Just a flash mob sniper team, apparently.
Honestly, I couldn't find it anywhere.
Sniper teams. In a hotel room in Las Vegas.
I downloaded a lot. And I saw multiple complaints going, after I looked for a while, I saw multiple complaints online saying there wasn't any Vegas sniper malarkey. So if we're all just being retarded and can't find it. But there is a lot of stuff. But again, it's just like, there was stuff from like, of universities faking their grades. There's some really benign stuff in there as well. You sort of get lost in it. But a lot of Hillary Clinton emails, that stuff was interesting. She emails like a boomer, like it's like all very, like really like
classic, just
quite long and quite new to the medium somehow, even though she's probably been emailing since the first emails, and admitting that she'd fallen over after a speech back in 2009, that sort of stuff. Yeah, no, it's a lot of stuff, but none of it's new. I don't know what they've been doing. I guess he's been locked up. I guess that was the point.
Yeah. Maybe just create a buzz so that people are interested in his case again.
Yeah.
I feel like no one's ever interested in his case for some reason.
Yeah, it is a pity.
It's a bit weird. I feel like it should be something that people at least pretend to care about.
I mean, on one side, yeah, but then what are they going to do? Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, let's assume that you have convinced someone he cares deeply about Assange to the point where he's going to, like, check the news on him daily. Like, what else is there to do? Like,
I suppose
yeah, he was sat in that with the Ecuadorian embassy for how long was it? Like 3-4 years or something?
Oh, it was
it's
longer.
Like proper partridge, isn't it?
It was longer than that. Assange
Let's have a look.
Embassy.
I think it was like, yeah. And then they stopped cutting his hair, didn't they? Then they cut off his water so he couldn't wash. So they
7 years.
Slowly sent him insane that way.
7 years he was there. Jeez.
Poor guy. And now Snowden has made a tweet basically saying, like, without Russia, I'd probably be, like, rotting in a cell next to Julian.
Oh yeah, most deaf. Both of them have awful personalities, but I don't know if their personalities are so bad that like that you can just sort of just leave them hanging, like leave them.
No one is enough of a cunt to warrant. Okay, never mind. I won't opine.
Got this little George Carlin clip.
There is no national conspiracy to buy elections and control America. But
You
because
don't need a formal conspiracy.
Right.
When interests converge, these people went to the same universities and
please.
fraternities. They're on the
It's
same
very
boards
simple.
of directors. They're in the same country clubs. They have like interests. They don't need to call a meeting. They know what's good for them.
It's a
and they're getting it. And there used to be 7 oil companies. There are now 3. It will soon be 2. The things that matter in this country have been reduced in choice. There are 2 political parties. There are a handful of insurance companies. There are about 6 or 7 information things. But if you want a bagel, there are 23 flavors because you have the illusion. You have the illusion of choice.
That's true. Oh, and now it just so
There's
happens
Colin.
that it's been revealed that the tech giants have had regular meetings with DHS. So it's not even that, you don't need to call a meeting. Is that at this point, they call meetings, they meet with the State Department, they meet with the Department of Homeland Security. Everything is, for lack of a better word, synchronized. They're all basically playing according to the same notes.
I hope they do this in the metaverse. With like the really jiggly hands and no legs, and it's all just like twitching out while they're talking about like
clipping through the
and
desk.
enslave them. Clipping through the desk.
Yeah, like in FIFA,
Yeah,
when
They're
you
all-
do
they're
something
all got
wrong,
furry avatars.
and like a player suddenly gets like ejected into space or something because the game couldn't calculate the velocity properly, like the physics engine just failed. Like a player accidentally runs into a post and bends in half, then springs back and launched 50 yards in the other direction.
Yeah, based on Halo Infinite's engine or something. Barnsley family tell of painful decision to eat Yorkshire Terrier as cost of food spirals out of control.
Wine pairing.
How much do you think their food costs?
How much is a Yorkshire Terrier, I guess?
Also, yeah.
How many loaves of Hovis? That's what I want you to.
Good question.
It's been a while.
Travis, why? Because
We never came up with a replacement inflation product.
I think we got to stick
I am
with it now
astounded how
because
it's still 120.
everything else has gone up.
How is it possible? Everything else is going up, but Hovis is the hedge against
I
inflation.
think milk is a better.
Oh no, Hovis is not a hedge.
Milk is probably a better.
So I was gonna say, should we just buy
Right.
tons of Hovis as like a hedge against inflation? But no, it's the other way around. It's a it's a poor hedge against inflation.
Maybe it's just one slice in there now.
No, because the amount it's still 800 grams.
In
I'm just gonna look up UK price of milk.
800 grams of what though?
Yeah.
Some of it's not bread anymore.
All right, there's a queries or comments. We love to hear from you. Should we ask them?
Yeah.
I think. All right. I think it's time to email actually, and be like, what the hell's going on here?
There you go. So price per liter. Hang on, I've actually managed to dig up a stat. Let's do some fact checking. The price per liter in September 2021 was just about 32p. Now,
Yeah.
actually August 2022, so a couple of months back, it skyrocketed to 46p a liter. So literally 50% inflation.
Oh wow, so you've got a more updated graph than me.
Oh fuck! I'm getting fucked in the ass on milk. Maybe I should just buy powder milk, make my own. I will not be rinsed on milk. I feel like I'm gonna buy one of those.
Roman charity, where you at?
Get fucking 20 tins of condensed milk and make my own. Just add water every morning. Fuck big milk. I'm getting scammed every day. Yeah, here, I'll send you the update
POV,
graph.
you're about to.
I don't know. I don't think this is a complaint, is it, to Hovis? It's not technically a complaint. I am irked. I'm gonna go down the complaint avenue. Maybe that will get a quicker response. I guess it's an inquiry. All right.
Wow. Would you look at that?
What's that? Is that the milk as well?
That's the milk price.
Oh, Christ.
You're getting fucked in the ass.
Product feedback.
At some
driver
point, it's a little bit cheaper. Just buy a cow, keep it in the garden, get your own milk that way.
Point of view: you're about to be fanatically gatekept from being any further right than a mid-2000s Democrat.
Classic.
It's so true. It is so true. The bottom right dude, I literally could never be able to bear the dude. Top left guy, again, could never bear him for longer than it will ever. Crowder, I thought used to be quite good and funny. Ben Shapiro was a classic, but
he's at least
now,
amusing.
God, they're all just at least amusing. Yeah, they're all just beyond the pale in the opposite direction. They're just pale.
Awful.
I would put Konstantin, what's his face, in that
Konstantin Kisilak
team
from Trigonometry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to be. We need to come together and talk about free speech. We need to unite and get back to where we were before, where we could have a conversation. Yeah, basically, I think that like cancel culture is a bad thing, and want to be able to make jokes still.
Yeah.
Those two, man. They interviewed Theo Von a few months ago, and it was so fucking cringe to watch. They were like, it was just odd. They were like, "Oh, we're just trying to have a conversation with you, Theo," but they were interviewing him and also saying, "No, it's like a relaxed conversation." But they were asking him like really personal questions, so it wasn't like a conversation. So like when he goes on Joe Rogan and they fuck around for a few hours. They were like, "We want to know like what makes you tick, Theo. So can you tell us about your childhood?"
Your fetishes.
It's like, fuck off. But they were like, it was like,
you ever heard of Roman charity fear?
He was like, how? He was like, but he was like, how'd you get into comedy? And like, Theo's like, what do you mean? It's like, ask better questions. Like, tell us about the first time you got up on stage. It's like a really specific question. Like, I don't know, just made me cringe big time.
Yeah, again, I've never been able to get through any of their stuff, and I've always tried because I'm desperate to know how that other guy's Venezuelan, and I've never got to the bottom of it. I keep talking about it. He's always going on about it.
Yeah, it's like as it gives him some kind of past. I know about oppression because I'm from Venezuela. Yeah, and I'm from Russia, so Local man says N-word. I don't quite get it. Is he contemplating jumping off?
No, I think it's like he's about turning off the TV and like touching grass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, having a look outside and realising the nonsense within is just nonsense.
Go touch grass.
Local man says M-word.
I could only muster about 20 seconds of this.
Jeepers creepers! Snoops! Jeepers creepers!
He's got an OnlyFans, right?
This guy's like 2 million.
He's got an OnlyFans as well. Yeah, you can see
he?
pictures of his asshole if you're into that.
So you get to see the food go in and come out.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of a mukbang when you watch it come out? A bang muck.
Yeah, that's like it's a wild ride looking at that person's trajectory. I wonder if that's what's going to happen to us.
Well, we're all, yeah.
Yeah, if we get to 1 million subscribers, we'll do a face reveal with a mukbang.
Right. Okay. On to the main topics.
You heard it here, folks.
Let's hurry up because unpopular opinions are starting soon. In fact, what's the time? Ah, shit.
No.
Let's go.
There you go.
Don't worry about it, mate. You can pause it and rewind and
put
it on 2 times speed to catch up.
Audience participation. Right. Come on. Shut up. Paul Pelosi. So, if we are to believe the media, rainbow flag waving. Oh my goodness, I can't read that. Yeah. All
Do you want me
right.
to read it?
Summary of the story. Yeah, go for it.
A rainbow flag waving nudist prostitute got up at 2 a.m. Friday morning, decided to create 2 random websites with hundreds of posts about QAnon and Big Brother in the dead of night. Then stripped down to his underwear, grabbed a hammer and jogged all the way to Nancy Pelosi's house, and miraculously breached 2 layers of max-level Secret Service security designed to protect the third most powerful person in the world, with nothing but a hammer and some tighty-whities. And finally shouted, "Where's Nancy?" before smacking Paul in the head with a hammer in front of the cops without being absolutely riddled with bullets. This guy's basically fucking Jason Bourne, apparently. He could breach 2 layers of federal security in an assassination attempt, but didn't bother to check if Nancy was even in the country. Lol, okay.
Yeah, so late at night, police, a third person who I think still hasn't been identified, made a call to the police about a welfare check on Paul Pelosi, saying that there is a possible intruder. However, that on one side Paul Pelosi doesn't know the identity of, but on the other hand, he's a friend and his name is David, and that's recorded on the call. And the police show up and they find the 2 men. They're both naked and they're wrestling over a hammer. And that's basically the story. It's highly, highly suspicious of what happened there. Very, very interesting.
And wasn't the breaking glass like
Indeed,
coming
it
from
was.
the inside as well?
Indeed,
There
it
more
was.
like a
Now, what does
breaking
that tell us? If there's glass
out
on the
rather
other,
than-
or if there's glass on the outside rather than the inside, what does that tell us?
This is like a year 6 sort of
it's one
logic
of those
game
like
that you'd have on
detective
the PC
work,
in the
right? If there's
90s.
glass on the outside, that means that rather than trying to break in, someone was trying to break out. Now, have you guys heard of Ed Buck?
Nope.
So he was this guy who was convicted. I believe he was actually convicted
No.
earlier this year. But so what he was doing is he was a wealthy, I believe, Democrat donor, and he would entertain himself by inviting over either male prostitutes or vulnerable men, often with drug issues, and then he would just drug them to the point where they weren't able to, they were not in control of themselves, and then he would do horrible things to them. And he got sentenced this year, and obviously he's a horrible man. And there is a mild possibility.
That's just being gay, dude.
There is a mild possibility that something like that might have happened here. Yeah.
Has Mr. Pelosi had past anything going on that's been a bit like off of interest in the past?
Well,
is he a man known for wrestling with hammers?
So apparently he has been spotted in the car with this alleged hammer bro before. Not to mention he has also been known to. Well, I mean he was caught. What was it? He crashed a car earlier this year, and he was like absolutely shit faced. And apparently he does have a reputation of hanging around some seedy areas, seedy bars. So I think this could very well have been an Ed Buck incident gone wrong. Really odd. Really odd.
He's like really injured now, isn't he? He's like in like proper hammer to the head.
Well, yeah.
Damage done, right? TBI.
Yeah, and yeah.
It's pretty rock and roll.
But yeah. I was gonna say experts were recently telling us that there's a literal headline saying experts say there is no way Paul Pelosi could have known this guy, which is like now we're getting into like the meta level where experts can know things that are inside of Paul Pelosi's head.
Put him in a brain scanner.
Yeah.
But what about the counter theories? So stop believing the conspiracies. No man would rent a Honda when he has a Ferrari.
Goodness me.
Here's my rebuttal.
Just no.
that I am not gay. I have relationships with women, sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Man's life just collapsed.
I rest my case.
Yeah.
Gay guys like big tits as well, so yeah, that argument doesn't really work.
What?
What? You don't know this?
No.
You ever watched RuPaul's Drag Race?
No. Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I see what you mean now.
Gay guys are always like wanting to touch boobies.
Bizarre.
Yeah, David tells investigators that he and Paul Pelosi are engaging in gay sex and an argument ensued over drugs. Pelosi's are refusing to turn over the surveillance video of their home, fueling more speculation of homosexuality at the home. To Papa's arrest for
it is very, very interesting that that we can't see the surveillance tape of what's happening in that house that fateful evening, that fateful night. I mean, I'm assuming they at least have a ring doorbell cap. Buy one now. Promo code minus 20% off. And yeah, and also, you know, it still beggars believe how someone like that could have bypassed the extensive security network that the Pelosi's have, because Nancy Pelosi is indeed the third most important person in the US. And yet, with enough determination, you too can bypass the Secret Service and break into a home only to break a window in the attempt to get out.
It's got to be some sort of invisibility stuff, right?
Maybe
that's why
he's
he was
Harry
naked.
Potter.
Some sort of invisibility spray. Yeah, some Harry Potter.
Okay, let's move on. Elon buys Twitter finally. It's culminated. So what do we think?
Skeptical.
I'm happy. It took too long, didn't it? Though, anticlimactic almost. But I think it's just beginning in some ways. He's done that tax on the blue ticks. He's dropped it to $8.
Yeah.
People are losing their minds about that for some reason, which just shows how needed something like that was. Because my God, imagine that being your personality.
I saw someone saying that for them it's a...
Yeah, Godspeed.
So someone was saying that, like, for me, this check mark is a matter of personal safety. Like, without it, I would have probably been killed. And I was like, well then, if it's that important, surely you can fork out 20 quid a month, right?
Yeah. That's like the price of coffee for 4 days or something. Just give up coffee for 4 days.
I just realised I can get one for BMC of Taiwan now. That's pretty rad.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to open up a whole new set of problems. Is it like anyone can get one, or is there still going to be like a bunch of hoops you have to jump through to get it in addition to this $8, or do you just pay $8 and you get it?
I think you just pay $8 because you're kind of verified via your bank details.
So is this his way of this is his way of stopping bots, I guess. So I guess he wants everyone to have a verified account so that then we can just dismiss anyone who isn't paying for it. That's pretty much the environment it will create, I think.
Yeah.
Which might just kill the platform.
Someone compared it to yeah, I guess the whole thing of go make your own Twitter will ring true for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, well suddenly
now, but he wants to get it off.
Suddenly it's no longer. Yeah. Oh. Doesn't work anymore.
Call it like. Yeah, he wants to get it off advertisers apparently, which, again, I know we all have ad blockers, so we have no idea.
I don't even use Twitter. I use
no idea how
Nitter
that really affects Twitter anyway. But.
Yeah, I very much recommend everyone to use Nitter if you want to have a completely ad-free experience.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a little video clip.
I do think we've failed in a couple of ways, and I want to admit that.
Failure comes with a big penalty. You're fired.
Why don't we, off? You know.
Well, yeah, they're gone.
Yeah. Apparently he's got out of that massive payout as well that he might have had to do because he's given cause for the firing. And I guess the cause is that I don't know, the CEO dude, he no one knew who Cluey was. He tweeted like 42 times in his year and a half of being there, which I know is probably not a sackable offence, but I feel like it kind of could be extrapolated into something like that, you know.
No severance.
Sort of showing a sort of disillusionment with the actual.
No severance.
It was going to be like 200 million each or something.
Yeah, there's not much to say on this one. We'll see how it plays out, I guess. But
he's not funny though, is he? That whole let that sink in thing where he carried a sink into Twitter on a Wednesday morning and it was completely empty. So I guess he's got a point with saying that there's something deeply wrong with that in that organisation. But he carried a sink in just to make the pun, and I was like, wow, yeah.
Did you see him on SNL when he was playing Wario? So bad.
Yeah. Well, they just want to be loved, don't they? That's the sad thing.
Okay. Let's just do the Alec Baldwin. So this is the tweet that he posted a few days ago. 1 year ago today.
What did he say? He's like, I shot this person.
The sheriff.
But look, comments on this post have been limited, and like all these blue check people are like sending like positive things. Apparently, I think before these comments were limited, there was just people like just calling him out.
I mean, the absolute goal. Like, this is just. Yeah, I mean. Fucking hell. That's a really cuntish thing to do, you know, when you shoot someone and then a year later, like, oh, I'm grieving. How could this have happened? Yeah, fuck that guy. Honestly, fuck that guy.
Yeah, he told the FBI or the investigators or whatever at the time that he didn't pull the trigger, and then it's like, no, yeah, you did pull the trigger, mate.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really need a ballistics team to work that one out.
I honestly thought it was a marketing stunt because the plot of the film is basically someone.
I think they're reshooting.
Yeah,
he started shooting the film again.
Yeah. He 1v1 her on Rust.
Have they?
Because the title of the movie is Rust. Yeah, 1v1 me on Rust, bro. Oh, speaking of which, isn't Modern Warfare 2 remake coming out? Or has it already come out?
It's caused a lot of buzz. I've seen that. Like I kept seeing clips of Modern Warfare 2, and I was a bit confused because I was like, I remember this stuff. No, Russians had a bit of a renaissance, hasn't it? Obviously.
Yeah, I do wonder if we're gonna introduce Zoomers to the intricate art of playing Modern Warfare, getting that coveted nuke, 24 kill streak.
So yeah, he's been replaced in the movie, so he's not going to be in the movie, but the movie's still going ahead. But he's a producer on it, so. And yeah, he settled the lawsuit with the family.
Oh, okay.
He agreed to take a settlement with the family. He's reached an undisclosed settlement on the wrongful death lawsuit filed in February.
I still think he should face like actual criminal charges, but as we know, rich people in the US don't ever face criminal charges. So yeah, not gonna happen.
Prop gun. That's a good one.
Do 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 do.
You just know he thinks he's been hard done by as well. Like he hasn't shown any sort of inkling of maybe I did the wrong thing here. It's all been very
no remorse, no guilt. Fuck that guy.
I think that there needs to be like a crusade in Hollywood at this point because there's just like there's no empathy there. It's just a hellhole of narcissistic weirdos.
Kind of always been that way, I think.
Who have
with the internet now,
I suppose so. But they
can post like the rest of us, and
that's
it's
also
very much
true.
on show.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was the whole other conspiracy about it being related to like there was like workers' strikes and things that were happening at the time, like workers' conditions and things. What do Harvey Weinstein and Alec have in common? Both have shot around into a woman at work.
Awful. Yeah, only one of them is standing trial. Ah.
I don't think he was standing there, was he? He was like in a wheelchair.
That is also true.
Yeah, he had his soul sapped away from him, didn't he? He was. Was that just a bit?
That's where you don't have the adrenochrome.
Kind of support, but
the adrenochrome supply runs dry. Your real age starts to show. Your body just starts falling apart.
He's a lack of access to adrenochrome.
Should we move on to the last segment?
Yeah. Sure.
So yeah, I watched Friends again recently in Japanese to learn Japanese. It was weird though, right? So the 31st of October was the last day it was going to be on Netflix, so I had to watch. I managed to, like, with an hour spare, watch the last episode. But for some reason the dub wasn't fully done on the last episode, so there was like sections where it just turned back into English randomly. And it was so weird, because I've been listening to Japanese and getting used to the Japanese voices. They all sounded like Jim Carrey. It was really bizarre. Like, to my ear, it was just like, why does everyone sound like Jim Carrey? I guess that was just the 90s style. But yeah. So obviously that when Netflix took up Friends, a lot of like Gen Z people like had like major problems with Friends for being offensive in many ways. But I remember at the time it being quite progressive, and it still kind of is. Like, I made some notes here. So the women were always right, and if the men were right, they had to argue for ages to like show that they were right, and even then it was still like
a Pyrrhic victory.
Like, if you look at the careers as well, like so you're kind of just Chandler and Ross's careers are kind of just taken for granted. They have them to begin with, and there's not really that much development there. I mean,
well, yeah. So like one is a tenured professor. Yeah, one is a tenured professor. The other one does what's basically can be described as like a office suit job, right? Sure, he changes careers, goes from doing whatever he was doing and goes into marketing.
A transponder.
Still basically, a transponder. Exactly.
That's not even a word.
Yeah.
But then Joey's an actor, but when you think about it, he's actually a female character as well, because he sleeps with producers to get roles. So he's that female character but put into a man's body.
It's basically Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, he gets Harvey'd. And then obviously you have Monica, who starts out as like a shitty chef, like a shitty cook, and then works her way up to like a really good restaurant. So you have that career development. And then Rachel as well, starting as a waitress and then working at various like fashion outlets and like becoming successful. And then I guess in the end though, this is what's based. Ross gets Rachel, stops her from going to Paris at the end.
Sure.
Yeah, they make Joey dumb because he's a misogynist, but it's based that he gets away with his misogyny. Like, they all kind of just put up with it, and no one calls him out on it, which is pretty cool.
It's because he can't take it to the next level.
Yeah, true. They misgender Chandler's father. They keep referring to him as he, even though he's a transgendered person.
Oh yeah, I remember that subplot.
Is that based?
Smoking's cool, I think, in Friends. I throw that in the debate. I reckon that's based, yeah.
Yeah, that marriage, they still hold that the marriage is a good thing. On the woke side, they have a lesbian couple. and they always have like minority authority figures. Like there's a lot of minorities in the positions of like doctors or judges or things like that. The other things they make all the male characters are super sensitive. Even Joey's like kind of sensitive, but like especially like Chandler, how he's like all the characters think he's mistaken for being gay and stuff, and Ross is there's always stories about him in his childhood about him like tucking his willy between his legs and pretending to be a girl and things like that.
Yeah. That's. I guess this was the start of the end, wasn't it? The 90s. So like, if you looked at
Seinfeld's
Seinfeld beforehand, and I'm not going to spoil the ending. Of
I'm more of a
Seinfeld
Seinfeld person than a Friends person.
What's the deal with airline food?
Yeah, you have to get past his schmarmy voice, and that takes a while. But in general, it's darker, it's grittier, which you never really get told until you start watching it, and you're like, wait, what? This
Seinfeld is pretty much. Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it like, like a show for incels, but like you do have a character that incels can identify with, the form of Costanza, right? It's not nice to see.
But Ross is also slightly that. If you take the laughing track away, have you seen the video of him being a complete psycho weirdo?
The other thing I thought when I was watching it was like, this show like made it so difficult to like talk to women because all of them like Ross and Chandler are like terrible with women, and they're always in these embarrassing situations, and they kind of say things that in real life, if you said them, people wouldn't react the way that the women that they're talking to react. Like Ross is talking about interesting stuff. Like in real life, people wouldn't react the same way. But then the other example you have is Joey, like just saying like these terrible pickup lines and being successful, and it's like it just sends a message like of like the complete opposite way that you would have to deal with women in real life.
Yeah, like no, like in what universe does "How are you doing" work with like the wing? Yeah, of course.
Or in Japanese, Genki Kai.
I can see how that worked.
Right. Shall we rank our friends' characters?
So how?
Yep, sure. So I guess
least favorite first.
Least favorite first. Rachel, easy. That's not even a question. Like Rachel is the kind of person. I mean, again, without the laugh track, like, is there anything redeemable about her? Like, she was regularly backstabbing. She wouldn't like do any sacrifices for her friends. Like, easy Rachel. Like, come on.
Yeah.
If you knew
her,
if you knew someone like her in real life, you'd probably be like, oh, that Bint from The Office, right? Or, like, in the nicest possible terms.
Yeah,
but not because
agree.
She's the worst one. So no.
Elliot, player 3.
Player 3.
Ross.
Ross for me. I just hate the guy so much. He's so embarrassing as a person and so utterly pathetic that I could just never look at him for more than 5 minutes.
Okay, player 1. Who's second to last?
Phoebe.
Really, I have a big disagreement here.
I don't know. I think her character is so over the top, bordering on surreal that like oftentimes like it's not Phoebe's not a real person. No one is ever like that. Like even your somewhat odd kooky friend is nowhere near as odd as Phoebe on an average day. Like, if you knew someone like Phoebe in real life, who'd be like, oh yeah, in my previous life, I was a soldier fighting in the Napoleonic Wars. You'd be like, this person's insane. I should not want to hang out with them. Right? Unless she was being deliberately ironic. Well, yeah, so maybe she's being ironic and she doesn't actually mean all this stuff, but in that case it's conveyed very poorly. Phoebe gets number 2, least likely, least likable.
I'll do you next, player 3.
I can't go Ross again, so it's a compelling argument about Phoebe, to be fair. And she doesn't really go anywhere as a character, does she? Nothing really happens to her. So maybe it's got to be Phoebe there.
I'm going with Monica.
Okay, hang on. Why?
I just find her annoying and she just annoys me.
Yeah.
More or less. And she cooks Chandler, so...
Yeah.
She cooks Chandler.
What do you mean
she
cooks
puts
Chandler?
him in a pot and boils him and then eats him. No, like
Japanese version.
I don't know. She takes Chandler from. I feel like once Chandler is married to Monica, but I guess that's the vibe of real life. But that's not real life though. Like again, like I feel like I'm infected with all these ideas of what real life was going to be like because I watched Friends as a kid, but like Chandler doesn't say as much, becomes much less forefront of the story. But I don't know if that's because of, in his personal life, the actor, what's he called again? Matthew Perry, like, was on a lot of cocaine and
they had to give him
drugs
put him
and
on
things,
sabbatical.
and maybe that's why they...
Yeah.
That could be why, but I feel like, story-wise, if we ignore that, it feels like Monica is she's annoying anyway, very neurotic, and then she basically steals Chandler's thunder in a way. But yeah. Do you want to go next, player 3?
For this one, I guess I've got. Cause if it wasn't Phoebe last time, it would have been Rachel. So I'm just gonna have to go Rachel, I guess. There.
Any particular reason, or you don't have to have a reason?
It's the Ross and Rachel arc. It didn't need to be the whole thing. It could have been. I think I just have a lot of love for the earlier seasons, and I think when you started talking about Monica and Chandler, I forgot how dull he got. So I always liked the Joey and Chandler dynamic at the beginning, but maybe when you start thinking about the actual whole thing, it's like, God, yeah, that Ross and Rachel thing just gets.
And then it gets really rushed at the end.
I think so, and it does get really rushed at the end. Yeah, it gets insanely.
Like when I
rushed
watched
at the end.
the last season this week, I was like, I thought there was way more to this. I thought there was a much bigger build to like Ross and Rachel. It kind of like, because it comes off of like Joey and Rachel, which was a weird.
Yeah, that was really weird. I think they nipped that off in the bud because people were like, "What the fuck is happening?" I think they tried to do it, and then the audience overwhelmingly rejected it, so they just quickly like snapped it.
The audience was Ross.
No, I don't know.
Ross is going to react how the audience reacts to the end of season 9.
Maybe.
And then we'll make Ross do that.
Yeah.
Who did I have? I'm going to put, I think, Joey here.
Do you know what? I'm also going to put Joey here. I think of the three guys, he's like the least reliable. Again, he's not really a guy you'd want as a friend because like he constantly owes you money, and then on top of that doesn't really like if he was in your house he'd be the kind of guy you'll constantly have to chase for rent. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're into the house together, he'd be the guy you constantly have to chase for rent. He'd be the guy who probably doesn't do any cleaning. Yeah, sure, okay, so he brings home a girl every now and then, and then oh wow, what a cool guy.
You can't sleep with because she's out of your league.
Yeah, and like
and he doesn't have the courtesy to wrestle you naked with a hammer.
But yeah, even when he becomes famous and rich, he still doesn't pay people back and still eats their food.
Yeah.
Is he a businessman? No, he's Italian.
So yeah. Joey.
Well, okay, next.
Monica. Probably. I guess.
Why is she so high for you?
Same. I mean, she does have like a certain sense of family, and ultimately she does want to um, uh, yeah, like well, maybe help the provide for the group, but that's maybe not the best way to put it. But she does make sacrifices for the group. She uh yeah she cooks for
She just always cooked
everyone.
the
Yeah,
Thanksgiving
she
dinner.
cooks for everyone. In a way, she takes pride in the fact that people like her cooking. Sure, but that's the Protestant work ethic, right? You do stuff for the community, and then you get praised for it.
She's Jewish, though.
Yeah, Jewish work ethic. Exactly.
But it's the best of a bad bunch, isn't it? Really, that's why she's that high. Rather
Yeah.
than
Are you putting her there
further down the bottom
as well?
But I think I'm gonna put her there too. I think she has some good side plots as well. From what I remember, enjoying the Richard stuff.
The Richard
with
stuff
Tash.
was a good story.
And the guy and the John Favreau who's in the UFC stuff. I think he actually.
I think I'm gonna put Monica above Joey. Actually, you guys have won me over. Oh shit! Tables in PowerPoint are really annoying.
I didn't even know you could do it. Why would you? I guess this is the reason you
so
do
I'm
it.
putting Ross here.
My reason to
I
put
don't know,
it.
relate.
How did he get that?
I guess
high?
I relate to Ross.
I mean, you can relate to Ross. Yeah, I guess that's why I would put him at number 2, right? You can relate to Ross. Yeah, in a way, he's endearing. I guess at times he tries too hard. Yeah.
Family man.
True.
Although he has been divorced 3 times. Ross the divorcer.
I would,
Sure.
I would call him the incel of the show. I reckon.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
with
obviously
his
characters
needy
change
ways.
throughout the seasons. Like in the first couple of seasons, it would probably be Chandler, who's like the incel of the show, right? And then Chandler hooks up with Monica, and then Ross becomes
true.
the incel of the show. But yeah, for me, Chandler number 1. Again, relatable.
I think I'm a Chandler number 1 as well. Wow, he came top. Is it just because of the sheer fact that he did it all when he was completely off his tits?
Excellent.
So who's your number 2? That would be Joey.
Joey. I feel like the Joey and Chandler. I think he's just
Riding
on the
the
tailgate
tailcoats.
of Chandler
Okay.
there, really, for me. But I think they did him dirty by not giving him an actual.
Yeah, he's just a
storyline
he's just a punchline bag towards the end.
I wouldn't have
He's just a stupid character that doesn't understand anything. They just make him too stupid.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought the Joey Rachel thing would have been better than other people apparently, but maybe they could have gone for him having a kid from a one night stand or something, and then growing as a person that way or something like that. Surely, like he had like some deep scene with someone in the hospital, didn't he? When he was like the birth partner of someone in the hospital, that sort of they could have brought that sort of thing back, I reckon, and kind of developed him a bit more. I think they did him dirty there.
Yeah,
But he was
the
a
kind of
complete
guy
tosser,
who like,
wasn't he, when
tells
you
you
see
how
sort of-
much your
I think some of the
friendship
earlier
means to
seasons
him,
or
and then
whatever.
does absolutely fuck all about it. And like whenever you ask him for a favor, he's just mysteriously not there. But he'll tell you next time over beers, just how much friendship means to him. Yeah. All right.
All right. So how about you? What about Chandler then? He's just the
relatable.
He's just the
guy
greatest. I mean, he's funny,
He is
relatable.
Funny. It's funny, but isn't it interesting how like in the show they try to like say that he's not funny, even though his like sarcastic quips are like absolutely hilarious. Do you know what I mean? They always like So like in the show, no one laughs other than the audience laughs, but in the show everyone's deadpan. like they're judging him for a bad joke, which is an interesting contrast. In real life, probably people will be pissing themselves at this like sarcastic guy who like
That's
cracks
like-
jokes.
That's like what player 2 was saying earlier about it just gaslighting you of how actual human interaction is.
Exactly.
The whole show's just a lie.
Maybe friend.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
side of
I
friends
noticed that
isn't
as
our
well.
friend?
Like a few years ago when I was watching it, pretty much every single like conflict that arises in Friends always arises from some small lie or some like truth that's not been told, and then the whole episode is about trying to resolve that. Whereas if you'd have just told the truth in the first place, the whole thing would have been fine. But then obviously you don't get a TV show that's entertaining if you do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Phoebe's so high for me because I don't know, I just like the quirkiness. She's kind of like the anti-Ross. And yeah, she's very good at putting Ross in his place. I like the running Regina Flange.
No. Yeah,
and then
this is why she's not a real person.
That's so
This
funny.
is not a real person.
Huh?
That's not a real person. No. Yeah, AI generated human. This is not. It's not a real person.
But she has like the most colourful background as well, like growing up on the streets and like.
But that's the thing.
Her mum dying.
Is it true? Did she grow up on the streets, or is it all a bit? Do you know what I mean? Like, because you're saying,
Yeah, that's the thing.
oh, what
It
if
could
some
be a
of this
massive
stuff,
troll,
like,
which it's
what
even
if
better.
you just had again, in real life, like you'd be like, this person that makes shit up.
I think the problem is that she created lots of people like
What
that
do you
as
mean?
well. I think a lot of personalities were then shaped on the freakiness for freakiness sake, post the endearment of just of freakism.
Right.
So maybe that's unforgivable.
Okay, we did it.
Yay.
Next time on
Cool.
Memery Hole.
Oh, it's been a year
got,
since the Kenosha verdict.
Kenosha King. I don't understand crypto, blockchain, or NFTs, but I understand the timeless importance of an absolute dump truck ass.
Is that David DePepe?
World leaders returning home after an inspiring climate change conference.
Yeah.
How you imagine the trolley problem, you pulling the lever, how it's actually going to be some rich guy
Yeah.
saving the rich guy while you're...
Exactly. The elites are throwing you under the bus.
Fighting baseball for Super Famicom, some Japanese guy to come up with a whole league of fake American names.
Like Mike Truck.
Steve McDykel.
Jeremy
Willie
Grant.
Justice.
I like these.
Ray McCriff. Tim Sandile.
Todd Gonzalez.
Al
Todd
Dambleton.
Gonzalez. Not even a Todd Gonzalez. Todd Gonzalez. Man, these artificial...
Bobson Dugnut.
General... Yeah, these what's it called, adversarial networks are getting better and better. Bobson Dugnut. Famous baseball
Glenn
player.
Allen Nixon.
Excellent.
Look at our ARL leftist meme. Just say no to the psycho right-wing capitalist fascist industrial death machine.
Industrial Death Machine. It's a pretty decent name for a metal band. Right.
Everybody like and subscribe. You know you're like...
Excellent. Sweet.
Stop.
Sweet. Oh yeah, good idea. Good idea. All right, I'll do that right now. Catch you later, guys. Bye bye.